Alright boys, today I thought I'd explain with charts my theories behind why I'm so bearish on Bitcoin and crypto in general, and why I sold most of my Bitcoin and crypto, apart from my link and apart from some other altcoin, small amounts of altcoins and a small amount of Bitcoin, right? I'm in my farmer's cap, and that's because the easiest way to get a steady supply of sheep is to start farming. And the reason I need a steady supply of sheep is because I'm Welsh, and that appeases my sexual proclivities. Alright guys, ignore the blue light filter and the fact that the screen is orange. But it's orange to represent Bitcoin, right? Anyway, this is the Bitcoin weekly chart, and as you can see from these lines I've drawn, there is like massive bearish divergence on the weekly chart of Bitcoin. You've literally got a triple hitter. Boom, 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 boom. Price is going higher, RSI is going lower. And RSI basically shows momentum, and bullish and bearish divergence on RSI basically shows the dying of momentum, or for the buy side or the sell side, right? Now, you can even see that just on the chart by the fact that each of these successive pumps are less severe, and you know, each breakout is less violent, you know. Now, do I think that this means that Bitcoin is just going to go straight down to zero from now? I wouldn't say that, no. But if Bitcoin does pump above all-time highs, I would expect it to have an even less severe pump than this. So perhaps going between 140 and 130. And am I really holding for that potential last leg on a quadruple hitter on this RSI? Not really. I'm probably going to avoid that. So that's looking at it more from a technical analysis point of view, but now let's look at it more from a fundamental analysis point of view, looking at the 4-year cycle. Now, this is my longer time frame Bitcoin 4-year cycle chart, okay? With a lot of stuff indicated on here, but we're going to go through it all now to hopefully explain what all this crap is, okay? The blue lines represent Bitcoin halvenings, okay? You can see the Bitcoin halvening happens after Bitcoin pumps, then it drops, it bottoms out, okay? You can see this historically over and over again. It pumped after last halvening, but it seems that because of ETF hype and because people are probably cottoned on to this trade, the people are front running this halvening trade, it seems, in the last halvening cycle, okay? Now, I've also measured on the top here, these arrows, the distance to the cycle tops, okay? This one, you know, the 2017 bull market ended 450 or so days after halvening. The 2021 bull market topped out, depending where you call it, we probably move this, right? Between 400 and 550 days to the top from the halvening, and we're currently sitting about 550 days, maybe a little bit more, into this current cycle. Now, as you can see from previous cycles, that we're currently kind of overextending where you might expect Bitcoin to top out if you were just going off history, right? Now, you might say history isn't going to repeat, but as they say, it often rhymes. So that's what I'm kind of going off. I'm kind of trying to use past performance as a indicator of when I should get in or out of Bitcoin, okay? And I will say I'm no oracle. You shouldn't trust me. I'm just some idiot online who's trying to do his best to make some money. Probably end up getting sidelined, you know. I'll probably end up losing a bunch, but who knows. But let me carry on explaining. These bottom blue arrows, distance to cycle bottoms, 883 days. Seems pretty consistent with both of these from the halvening. So maybe a good buy zone will be around September 2026, right? That might be a perfect buy zone if we get a bearish year, if we get some kind of horrible bearish catalyst, like some AI bubble bursting. Maybe next September will be a perfect buy zone. I don't know. Now, you might be looking at this chart and you might be saying, but hey, Dale, Trump's in the White House. He's mega pro crypto. What can bring crypto down? What can happen? I can tell you that at the bottom of here, I felt like what could bring crypto up. At the top here, I felt like what could bring crypto down. It seems that just at these points of interest on this chart, macro events just happen that turn the chart. And I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's manipulation. I don't know if there's some kind of 4-year cycle to just traditional macro events. But there's always something that just pops up that just seems to make the Bitcoin price comply with what you would expect to happen if you were just following this chart, right? I don't know why that is, but it just seems to be the case. Now, what could it be here? I don't know. Like, AI bubble bursting seems like the most obvious, right? Some kind of jobs recession seems like it could be obvious. And maybe it'll take like a good year for things to bottom out, and then maybe it just goes sideways up until the halvening, or up until the lead up to the halvening, as you'd see here. Yeah, and perhaps with no ETF hype, halvening happens, election fear happens, post-election everything pumps. Who knows? I'm just theorizing here. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we've looked at the technicals, we've looked at the fundamentals, and both of them are screaming risk to me. Like, this is a big risk, so it's probably better to get out. I didn't make much money this bull run. I'll be honest with you. I didn't make much money. I wish I did. I wish there was, if there was some giga alt season, I'd have probably made money. But I was stupid. I bought altcoins that went to zero rather than going into, going mainly into coins like Bitcoin, etc., which I knew would do well anyway. And just accepting, rather than gambling on something that could make me ultra rich, just gamble on something that I know will give me a consistent 5x or something, and then repeating that over a couple cycles and using that to get rich. That would have been the best strategy, I think. If I could have just all in Bitcoin, where this chart defines the cycle low, and got out where this chart defines the cycle high, sitting on probably about a 5x, and then repeated that next cycle, maybe it's diminishing gains, maybe I get 2x, you're talking about a 10x over 8 years. That's pretty phenomenal gains, really. But anyway, I'm just waffling, to be honest with you guys. I'm waffling about Bitcoin, I'm waffling about crypto. So, and that's about it. It's late, it's very late, so I'm going to get off to bed. But I think that kind of sums up where I'm at technically and fundamentally. Bitcoin looks a bit scary right now. Whoa, I'm going to show you a cat to sign off, okay? I love you guys. Have a good night. I hope I haven't frightened you if you're invested in crypto, But yeah. Have a good night. Mwah.